welcome to Blossom Sandwich Sews. My name is Yvette and today I've got some new fabrics to show you. So one of my aims that I have for this year is to get better at sewing with jersey, and that's something that I've identified through like my previous couple of videos that I've done. Like there's very little jersey in my stash, like as evidenced by my stash organisation a couple of videos ago, and also from looking at my projects that I completed in 2023, I didn't sew much with jersey, and obviously I'm not going to get better at it if I don't practice. So that's something that I'm thinking about this year, is to practice a bit more with jersey. So I picked up these two jersey fabrics at the Sew Me Sunshine open day. So one of the best things about fabric shopping in person is being able to feel the fabric. So it's kind of a theme that I always end up buying a plain fabric that feels really nice when I go to Sew Me Sunshine in person. I just find it really unappealing to buy plains online because you never quite know if like they've managed to capture the colour exactly. So then I feel like if it's plain, the colour really matters. So then if it's not quite right, you're like, oh, and also you just can't get a sense of like how soft it is. This is a brushed viscose rib knit jersey, and it is literally, it's so soft, and I think it's going to be so cozy to wear. So when I was there, I texted Doug because I know that he really likes wearing super soft fabric, and I was like, they've got this really soft jersey fabric, would you like me to make you a top in it? So he picked the khaki colour, and I was kind of secretly hoping that he would pick the blue so that I could make a top that we can share, or maybe there'd be a bit extra and I could make something for me. But anyway, he picked the khaki, which I think would not look too bad, but it's just like not my vibe, the colour. So then I decided I would get 1.5 meters of the blue for myself. So we're going to be twinning in the same fabric in different colours. So actually I still need to add these to my stash hub. So shall we do that now? So I can try out the super exciting new feature which is on Sew Me Sunshine. So Harriet and her husband Paul have added a new button to the Sew Me Sunshine website that means you can add fabric like directly to your stash hub. It's kind of like the Pinterest button. So let's find the fabrics on Sew Me Sunshine. So this is the khaki version that I got for Doug. And then if you scroll down next to the pin it button, there is a stash button. So I'm going to tap on that, and then it asks to add it to my stash. So I'm just adding that with magic input. And then I bought 2 meters of this because I'm thinking of making Doug a long sleeved top with this. Okay, so now it's gone into my stash. So it's took the picture, the description. I'm going to put in that I've got 2 meters. Just so that I can remember that. Scroll down, change the purchase date to Saturday when the open day was, and I'll put plain as design just to boost my numbers on the plains because I've got a lot of florals and I haven't pre-washed it yet, so I'm going to wait to check that box for when I have done that. So that's in my stash now next to my my What Vicky Made pre-order, which I'm very excited about. So now let's do the same for my blue version. So this is called Steel Blue, this one. The colour I think is showing up quite different on the camera, but hopefully you can see from the Sew Me Sunshine picture what it looks like. So just do the same for that. Use the stash button. This is like super exciting. This is my first time trying it out, so yeah, this is really great. We're hoping to get this onto like more shops in the future as well. So yeah, there we go, that's in my stash, and I bought 1.5 meters of this. So let me just fill that in and go down, just check that it's all filled in, correct the date, and put in plain. Yeah, awesome. So these are in my stash hub now. Ta-da! So that's really good. So yeah, I think I'm all up to date now on my stash hub. I feel like I'm doing really bad at like repping my own brand when I've got stuff like not in stash hub. So yeah, I'll have to get these pre-washed. So then about the plans that I've got in mind. So for Doug, I've bought a new pattern, which is the Henley top by Patterns for Pirates. So I haven't tried this pattern company before, but it was very reasonably priced. So I bought that pattern. I think it worked out to like around £7. I think it was $9. So I'm going to try that because I've also bought some buttons that match really well. That's another thing that's good about shopping in person, is that you can actually like make sure that stuff matches. So there we go, you can barely see it, that's how good the match is. So yeah, that will be exciting, hopefully, and like something a bit more like challenging to do a placket in jersey. Hopefully it's not over ambitious. So yeah, that is something that I'm going to try and make for Doug. So hopefully I'll get that done soonish, because then he can wear it, you know, in the sort of winter spring time when it's still a little bit chilly, because this is going to be so cozy. And then for me, I am going to use a pattern that I already had but I haven't tried yet, which is the Dawson top by Helen's Closet. So all my patterns are in Stash Hub, and I'm using the filters to select the ones that are PDFs that haven't been printed yet, so that I can make sure that there's like, if there's other ones that I really want to have printed, that I can get them done at the same time. So obviously I need to get the new pattern that I bought for Doug, the Henley top, printed. So that one's definitely on the list, so check that one off as printed. Then I'm going to do the Dawson top for me, which is my plan for my blue rib knit jersey. And then there's a few other patterns that I want to get done. So I'm thinking of getting the Lawrence pattern, although it's quite summery. I really do want to make this pattern, so I'm going to get that printed at the same time just to save a little bit on the shipping. And then I'm also going to get this boxy shirt, because I've just been thinking about like the idea of making boxy shirts at the moment. I think it would be really cute in like a seersucker fabric. Also, I bought this hazel dress when it was on sale, and I've seen like absolutely stunning versions. So I'm going to get that printed as well, just so that I can make that when I get around to it. So I'm going to just get those ones printed for now. I'm trying not to get everything printed like all at once, because I'm not able to sew everything, and I end up with just like loads and loads of patterns printed out that I haven't made, and then it's just taking up space. But yeah, it is tempting to kind of batch them up and get them printed together. So yeah, I'll let you know how I get on with those patterns. I'm especially excited to try the Patterns for Pirates patterns, because I haven't tried that company before, so it's always interesting to see what a different sort of set of instructions is like. And yeah, good luck to me and sewing jersey. So looking at my measurements and the size chart, I decided to go for a D cup size 12 and then graded to 14 at the hips. So I used my French curve just to keep this curve in the pattern. So here you can see me doing my adjustment on the back bodice piece. And then if you look at the line drawings, there are several different options of neckline. So I'm making view A, which is the regular type neckline. So what I've done is I've cut off the high neck, and I'm just going to keep that pattern because I can always just tape it back on with washi tape if I want to make the high neck version. There are also 3 different sleeve options you can make, so short, medium and long sleeves. And you'll notice that there are these little flaps on the shorter sleeve version, and that is because the sleeve tapers in. So when you fold it up to hem it, if you didn't have these flaps, the length of the hem would be too short compared to the length of the pattern piece that it's folded up against. So you need the flaps to just match the lengths when they're joined together to hem it. So I'm just going to fold these flaps in when I'm making the longer sleeve length. So the only adjustment I made was to remove an inch from the waist. So I've just drawn a line 1 inch above the length and shorten line. Then I'm going to chop along the length and shorten line and just shift the whole pattern piece up by an inch. So on the back piece, for some reason, the length and shorten line's not in the same place. So I've just drawn my own lines around a similar place in the waist, and I'll see if that bites me in the ass later. So here it is with the adjustment made, the grain line still intact, and you can see there's just a tiny step. So I'm just going to snip that so it's all nice and smooth. Let's get ready to sew. Because I don't have 4 matching threads, I've tried just putting the matching thread in the first position, which is through the left hand needle. So the thinking being is that this will be the stitching that shows from the outside. So if I stretch the seam here, you can sort of see the blue thread showing from the outside. Okay, so now we're into it, and this is why I really hate sewing with jersey. So I've done a twin needle for the top stitching of the hem, and you can see that it's really badly tunneled, and it looks terrible on the inside as well. I faffed about for ages with so many settings. It's just so frustrating, you guys. So I decided to go for a regular zigzag stitch, and you can see my swatch here with some different iterations. So I figured out the best settings are number 1, which is the least pressure on the presser foot, because that was pushing and stretching my fabric. Then number 1 on the tension, and a stitch length of 4 on my zigzag. And I'm sewing from the wrong side so that I can make sure to catch my edge in as I'm hemming, and this is what it looks like from the outside. That's the inside. So I think it's looking pretty decent. At least there's no tunneling or stretching on this one. Ta-da! This is the final reveal of my Helen's Closet Dawson top in my brushed ribbed viscose jersey from Sew Me Sunshine. So overall, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. It's really comfy and cozy. The fabric is so soft. And when I was at the open day, I spoke to Teresa, who is Lost My Thread, and she said she's bought this fabric in the past and it still stays really soft and nice even after washing it. So that is really good to know. I decided not to top stitch the neckline, just because this was before I'd figured out the best way to do the tension, and I just didn't want to like stretch it out. And because of this fabric, it's not too thick, so it sits quite nicely anyway without the top stitching. I'm glad I made this view of the neckline rather than the scoop neck, so I think the scoop neck would have come out really low on me. So my only qualms with the fitting is I've still got this line here, and I don't know if that's because I needed more room in the bust, even though I did make the D-cup version, or because of where like the shoulders and the arm size sitting. So I think the shoulders are a bit wide on me. So my shoulder bone is a sort of less than an inch, but like maybe like half an inch in from where that seam is sitting. And so the bottom of the armhole is really quite far out from my armpit. So I don't know whether there's like sort of excess here, which is causing that crease. But yeah, I don't know. If anyone's got sort of experience with fitting jersey t-shirts, do let me know. This is the mid-length of the sleeves. So yeah, I think this would be really good for a layering piece because the sleeves are quite tight. I think personally, for a regular t-shirt, I'd prefer like a shorter sleeve and a little bit like looser as well. So this is it tucked into my Danny pants. I'll show it to you untucked as well so you can see the length and how the hem turned out. So even though I took my inch out, which I think went okay, I think the shaping is in the right place. It's quite a long t-shirt, so that's sort of, yeah, on my hips. So if I wanted to only wear it tucked in, I could shorten it quite easily. And I do have more of this fabric, so I might try and make another top for myself with the remaining fabric, because why not use it up? But yeah, I'm not quite sure what adjustments I need to do to this to get it to fit better. So do let me know in the comments what your suggestions would be, or maybe, you know, it's fine, I'm just too picky, but that's just what I'm like. But yeah, I have got a few other t-shirt patterns that I haven't tried, so maybe I could try a different t-shirt pattern with the remaining fabric and then I could compare them, or maybe I could even buy a new pattern. I know on one of my previous videos I got a lot of recommendations for, I think it's the Concord tee by Cashmerette, because of the cup sizes and different options that they do with that top. So yeah, let me know your t-shirt recommendations and where you think I should go from here. But yeah, the jersey sewing experience wasn't horrible, but I definitely am still a wovens girl at heart. So I don't know if I'm going to be suddenly, you know, stocking up a massive stash of jersey fabrics and getting really into jersey. But I am interested to hear what your favourite jersey sewing patterns are, and what you'd recommend for somebody with my body type. So yeah, I probably wouldn't wear it like untucked with this because I feel like it kind of gets all the bunching from the trousers. But yeah, I quite like it, and I think the colour's really nice. But yeah, let me know as well if you'd be interested in seeing my jersey make for Doug. So the Henley top by Patterns for Pirates, because that is going to be my first time doing buttonholes and a placket in jersey. So that could be interesting. And yeah, let me know what you think about seeing little snippets of my progress and adjusting the pattern like I showed in this video. I'm not really keen on the idea of recording like full-on sew-alongs because I feel like when I'm sewing, that's my time, and I don't always want to like make myself presentable and be on camera, and I kind of sometimes just want to get on with the sewing as well rather than like talking through it. But with the, I can just film little bits of it and put the voiceover on at the end. But let me know if you found those little bits sort of helpful as a little insight into my making process, and I will include that in my future videos as well. I probably won't be doing a video next week because I'll be away, but yeah, I've got quite a lot of videos on my channel, so if you're new around here, do check out the back catalogue and let me know what else you'd be interested to see in the future. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye!